Hey guys, Grassman here, playing more of the No Sunflower Challenge in Plants vs. Zombies. Night level 2. Gonna try and get through most of the night. It's mainly just puff shroom spam, that's all we can do. We have no sun production overnight, so... Puff... What else can we even play? That's it. So, I played Minecraft again today. Didn't do it yesterday, but I did today. And, so I went back to get another villager, because I wanted a second villager so I could start, I needed a mending thing. So the main problem I was trying to face is the weird way my nether portals have linked up. Actually, I didn't turn off the sounds, you guys can hear me better. I don't know how loud it is, really. So, the main problem is the weird way my nether portal is linked up. So what I had done is I built one nether portal way off on a faraway island for some reason, and I'm not sure why still. Even though there was a lava pool really close to me and I easily could have. Then I decided I'm just gonna now build my nether portal closer for some reason. Because the old one was really far away. So I built it closer, but they linked up to the same spot. So when I would go back through, I would end up on that faraway island and have to swim or take a boat back, which is really annoying. So I just decided to break that one, swim back, and then they'd link up the other way. Nope. Instead of the two being connected, it just formed another new portal in that old spot for some reason. Because the way nether portals link is really weird. So, can this, like, go away? Thank you. So, I'm trying to make, if they're not going to link up properly, I just need to make an ice boat path, which I can travel back and forth from really quickly. More ways to play, okay. Because blue ice and boats are a really fast way to travel. So I start silk-touching blue ice, or I start silk-touching ice, and I'm like, I don't know how the ice stuff works. And I figured out you can turn 9 ice into 1 packed ice, and then 9 packed ice into 1 blue ice. So it's like 81 ice equals 1 packed ice, and I need to get, like, equals 1 blue ice, and I need to get, like, 200 blue ice. So if you do the math there, that's like, what is it, 8,100 times 2? So 16,000, so 160,000, 162,000. Which is a lot of ice. And I'm like, I'm gonna need a mending silk touch pickaxe. And it's only iron, but... So I needed to go get I need to get mending books. Or a way to get mending. And because it was already enchanted with silk touch, that meant I needed a librarian selling me mending. So I went and got another villager, and I actually went to the wrong place. I went a weird way around, and I ended up getting stuck, kind of. And then I managed to find a different village, one that wasn't by the stronghold. So I stole a villager from there, and it took a lot of work. I put one in a boat, and then I had to, like, dig my way through the ground, because it wasn't near the water, it was in the middle of a plains biome. So I had to dig through one hill, and then build over a gap, so that I could get the boat across, and I finally got into the water and brought him back. Then I put him under a contraption I built, which does pretty much nothing. It's a bridge, but there's a lever that'll, like, pull down the bottom layer of... It's a bridge, but there's, like, a sewer grates kind of under it, made of wood. So it looks like a gate, and you can pull the bottom part down. Unfortunately, a boat can't get through that, so if I break the top part and pull the bottom part down, then you can get through. And I'm out of breath. I need to breathe more while talking. So I got him in, without taking any suffocation damage, because they would end up doing that. The bridge is too small. So I got him in, and then I put down he didn't take any job, then I put down a lecture, and he immediately took the librarian job. Perfect. But he was selling paper and bookshelves. The paper trade, I believe, is always there, but you don't want the bookshelf trade, you want the enchanted book trade. So I'm like, weird, why isn't it here? And then I did the same thing, and I got the same trades, and I'm like, oh no, is it broken? Does it not work on Bedrock or PlayStation or whatever? Can you not get them? And I'm like, it's broken, what do I do? Then I got him in, so I just got him into his place, broke it, and put it down again, and he became a leather worker. And I'm like, which item is even a leather worker thing? How did you become a leather worker? I don't have any weird leather worker items. So I have to look up what item is a leather. So I look around and I'm like, could be the enchantment table, could be the brewing stands, but a brewing stand makes a priest or a cleric. So what's making it? So I'm like, I have to look it up, and it's a cauldron for some reason. I'm like, a cauldron? So I go break my cauldron that I had just for decoration in my potion making area. And I'm like, okay, now it'll fix. Then he became a cleric. And I'm like, okay, so I go break the enchantment table. He's still a cleric. Right, I didn't need to break the enchantment table. Nothing is an enchantment table. So I put that back and I go break my 4 potion brewing stands. I have 4, I don't know why. So I break those. And then I go back and he's a farmer because I have a composter over by my food production for the seeds. And I'm like, Jesus, dude, you're driving me nuts. So finally, I get rid of that, and then he becomes the librarian. And I'm like, finally. And then I look, and he's selling a book instead of the bookshelves. And I'm like, yes, okay, so it works. So everything's fine, right? Wrong. Because I have no way to... Or I think it might have been like paper once more or something, and then it finally became a bookshelf. Either way, I had no way to see whether or not the book was mending. It looked like you had to buy it and then see what it was, but then that would lock the villager's profession and you would never be able to change it, so you couldn't reset it to get a mending book. And I'm like, well, what the hell do I do? And then I'm like, well, what if I look, it doesn't change, what if I, and then I realized if I click it, it'll actually keep the item there so I can see what it is. And then I go over it and it's mending. So the first time that I actually got an enchanted book sale, it was a mending book. And I'm like, oh, thank God, that was already a lot of stress, I'm glad you just worked. So, like, and it was weird because he hadn't immediately picked up a profession, but then he took every other profession you could have taken. Once I took away his thing the first time, and I hadn't even had it placed down before. So what else can we talk about? And the first time I had brung in a villager, because I also have like a toolsmith there, because I needed like diamond pickaxes. So I made a toolsmith and he just worked. He just worked, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you for not becoming any of those other things. I'm worried he's going to become a farmer, but no, he just became a toolsmith. I took him out of his boat, I went and placed the thing down, and he became a toolsmith. Or the other way around or something. Turn the sound back up. So, at the moment, I need a lot of blue ice. And I figure it's just going to be easier to mine up the blue ice or the packed ice. But I want to be careful because I want to actually, like, take those ice spikes, and I want to, like, dig down under them and make, like, cave systems in the ice spikes to make it look like a fort or something. I might need a thing here. Didn't even it? Sweet. Thank you, ads. Your existence is amazing. Yeah. No. Not having access to fume shrooms in this level is gonna be very hard. Wow, thank you, ads. I needed that. Wow, thank you. No, won't help me. Bummer, dude. Again, there's only a few things you can actually use. I really can't afford anything else. Those would probably be the next things I would use if I could. So what else can I say? Didn't talk about the game at all that last time. There's very few graves in this level. The graves are, like, really annoying when you can't afford to get rid of them. Graves are annoying in general. It's 75... Like, it's either a zombie or 75 sun and they disappear. So a zombie and they stay there, or 75 sun. And they're only there at the beginning. And that's their cost. It's not too bad. But when you don't get any sun production, they just get... They really get in the way. What other kinds of YouTubers do you want? Do you watch? Do you want? What other kinds of YouTubers do you watch? I wonder if do you guys come from a specific set of YouTubers? Or are you coming from Shy Guy Mask? Or are you coming from... What kinds of YouTubers do you guys come from? Are you just from wherever? Do you know that there's a video I saw the other day? It was someone's channel who... It was someone who, like... I watched a video, and at the beginning of the video, they said, "Hey guys, today we're sponsored by... Guess what? Raid Shadow Legends. No kidding, I only have 11 subscribers. Why would I be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends?" And I'm like, wait a minute. 11? I don't... What? And I back out and I look and I'm like... You sure about that, dude? I'm looking and that number says 24.9. And then I look and it's 2 months old and it has 500,000 views and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. So this guy who had 11 subscribers had a random video blow up. It was, trying to die in Fundy's baby mode. And he succeeded. But over 500,000 people watched that video for some reason. So he went from 11 subs to 500,000 views in the one video, and 500,000 subs. Or no, not 500,000 subs. 25,000 subs. And I'm like, I'll sub to this guy. He's the next Tommy in it. I have to do that there. Actually, doesn't do strong. Not too bad. And so, I left a comment saying, "I will watch your career with great interest. For you, the next Tommy in it." And on one of his other videos, I'm like, I wish I had that luck. Because that is my goal. Like, my goal is to hit hundreds of thousands of subscribers in the next... Like, if I can hit 100,000 subscribers in the next 4 years, that is my goal. If I can hit that, that can be a steady job. And then from there, I can build up to millions. But it will need to hit, like, 100,000 within the next 4 years for it to be a viable consideration as a job. As a permanent thing. And it is what I want to do. I want to do YouTube permanently. So I just have to... I have about 4 years until I kind of have to get a job. And if YouTube can be my job after those 4 years, perfect. I think bottom lane here is the only thing I have to worry about. I don't have any sun, at least a walnut. I forgot they take 15, not 25. Should have just tail mined. Again, they're not a problem. They have like surprisingly little health once you stop using fume shrooms and just start battering them. It's already mostly broken. And the kid sounded pretty young. He sounded like my age or younger. He sounded like I don't know, how old did he sound? What is this, a heartburn commercial?
Don't take the same old lunch to work.
Oh no, it's that commercial. It's a weird food product commercial. No, shut up. Bummer, dude. I don't know if I've ever refused that. I don't know. I think the only other time I refused that was in the 2 seeds thought video. It was literally useless. Videos. I can't even just same guys, I guess. I would use those. I can only afford half my plants. Another thing I rarely mention, if you guys want to leave comments, I would love if you leave comments. I will, if it's a question, I'll respond to it. If it's a suggestion for what I can do, if it's like, can you play this game, can you do this? I would totally be up to it. What do you guys want to see? Just let me know in the comments. Constantly trying to think of things to talk about. When should I do like a... I want to do like one of those things where it's like this video leads to this video leads to this video. Unfortunately, I have no clue how to embed videos inside of other ones. I think you might have to be on like computer or something to do that. Or use some sort of special YouTube editing software. I'm literally working off my phone, though, so I don't know how that works. I don't know how to embed the videos like that. I wouldn't know how to make it so it doesn't, like, appear as a post, where I don't know how to make it so it's, like, one inside the other, where you can't just end up accidentally seeing the last one. Because I don't want the last bit getting, like, recommended to you, and it's like, didn't play through the whole thing, so why is it we're getting recommended? Or why is it here? It's not. Plus, then I have to, like, mark the videos in a weird way so you can, if they're not embedded inside of each other, it's gotta be like, lane 1, part this, go. And then it's like, left, did you choose left, right? I don't know, I wouldn't know how to do it. I want to do some of those things at some point, though. I can't fight those well. Like how Markiplier did his Heist with Markiplier thing. I want to do some of those. Should I do, like, the longest one ever? Should I make, like, a series that's, like, 500 videos long or something? That'd be amazing. If you just kept splitting them off by 2 every time, you'd have 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16... It would be like binary, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. So it would be just a full string of 1s in binary. 512 plus 256 plus blah 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 blah. And it would come out to 1023, I believe. If you include, or 1024 if you included, like, 0, but there would be no 0. You can have an off state as well, in binary. So there'd be, like, 1024 or 23 videos, and 500 outcomes. Now I want to do that. Oh, God. Also, I've got a few Minecraft things I've been waiting to show, actually. Because I made a binary counter, I made a hexadecimal counter, and I want to make some other stuff. But I made a binary counter, and I made a hexadecimal counter. So a binary is like an on-off system. So where 0 is off, 0 is 0, 1 is 1, 2 is 1 0, 3 is 1 1, if you don't know what binary is. So I like made a binary counter, and then using the binary counter, I made a hexadecimal counter, which is essentially 1 to 16 all on the same digit. So it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, I think. A, B, C, D, E, F, yeah. No, E. Just to E, I think. It's gotta have 15, so 0 to E. Or it's gotta have 16, so 0 to E. So normal counting is a base 10 system where it's 0 to 9. This would be 0 to E. And I was able to... So I set up one system that would... I set up a normal binary counter that would have 4 spots to turn on, off. So it would just count up through it. So you'd hit a lever on and off, and that would count up in binary. And then I used, like, I think it was, I think it was observers to test when it would turn on or off, when it would change state, and that would send an update thing. Oh no, so, I remember what I did. Because I didn't want to have to meddle with trying to make it an observer thing stay on, instead of making it lights that turned on, I just had it redstone things that would push out and activate something else. So if the number ended up being 2, it would be 0, 0, 1, 0. So then that one would go out, it would go through a small checking thing to check the first 2 boxes, and it would output one of 3 outcomes, because there's only 3 outcomes, where there's 4, which is, both are off, in which case there's no outcome, 1 is on, in which case there's an outcome, the other is on, in which case there's an outcome, or both are on, in which case there's an outcome. So it turns binary into a more complicated string that was more informative. So then it would take those 6 strings, which 2 and what possibilities everything would be. So it was just very complicated stuff. And then it would just mingle between all of them, try and figure out, is this one on compared to this one, compared to this one, compared to this one. It did those for both sets of 3, and then it would have to compare those to each other to try and see if there was if anything on the other sides were on. Then, once I knew what number it was, I just marked all with signs what number each line was, so it ended up with 16 lines. Or 15 lines, something. 15 lines, and if no line was on, that was equal to off. And then each line would have to go over another thing, where it would go and trigger a bunch of different sets of 3. Because you need to represent it on a grid, on a clock grid, kind of. Where there's, like, the 7 lines of 3 that make up an 8. One of those things. I need to catch my breath. So it would go on, I would have to decide which ones are going to be powered on to make the display show the proper number or letter. And then after a few glitches I fixed, because I got the whole thing working, and then I just needed to do the display, and the display had a few glitches because of a few things I messed up with the numbers. So I just resolved those, and the whole thing worked. And so now I'm waiting to make tutorials of how to build those, how they work and what they are. And I would like to know if you want to see that and when. Because I have it on my PlayStation, so it would be, again, that weird recording thing where you're like, I'm recording off my phone, but you're seeing it from my PlayStation. The phone's recording the PlayStation. But let me know when you would want to see that. Probably two separate videos, one for the binary, and then one explaining into how I did turn the binary into hexadecimal. And it did work more like a computer. It wasn't one flick will do this to make it look like 1, and then 2 will do this. It was specifically 1 will make it this in binary, and that binary that computers use will be translated into hexadecimal. That line, that's what I'm worried about. And I also made an automatic chicken farm in my survival world, actually, before. So how it works is, it'll work better on PC than it would on PlayStation. The point is, a chicken lays an egg, it goes into a hopper. The hopper sucks it up and puts it through a sorting mechanism that sorts out feathers and raw chicken. You'll hear why soon. Then it gets filtered back around and thrown into the pen, which could spawn a new chicken. I just let it go. If it spawns, or it won't, and then eventually they'll start compressing themselves to death, causing feathers and raw chicken to drop into the machine, and then they get sorted out into two separate chests. The problem is, on PlayStation, it is way too laggy to be around, so at some point you just have to kill them before they start compressing themselves to death. On PC, they could probably start compressing themselves before you end up... They could probably start compressing themselves before your game crashes. So I ended up having to go in and kill them all because it was just way too laggy. Also, the first thing I did in my world, as soon as I got in, I'm like, I need more space, because I kind of spawned like halfway off an island. I was on an island, but I was on the edge, and there was a hill right there, so I'm like, I gotta get more space. And I spent like a good 30-40 Minecraft days digging out the hill. And I actually have a really cool picture. I can show you the picture. Hang on. But yeah, we finished this. Good job. So this is the photo. So you can see my big tower I have in the background there. So I dug things under there to get a whole bunch of stone and stuff, and I started living under there. And then I started digging off the top. And then as I got to the roof level, I started scraping off the roof here. And then I decided this is an amazing site, so I took a picture. And this was a good, so in this hill, I probably mined a good 1,000-ish blocks, maybe. And I hadn't done any exploring before this, so I knew my area, I'm going to take out this hill, and I knew there was an area to the back. And something else funny, a ways to the back, a ways off to the right from this picture, in a forest, I went and started plotting out where I'm going to have a castle. And then now that I've started chopping away at that forest to give myself more room, I've noticed it wasn't that far back. It just seemed far back because of the hill. So now I've taken away the hill. Like, right where I'm standing now is pretty much where the toolsmith is right now. Because I'm much farther in the game. This was taken, I think this was taken before I started my YouTube channel. Because this was taken on my birthday. So I think this was taken before I started my YouTube channel. So I went and... So I started digging away at the forest, and I'm like, why is there this stone here? Apparently I was super close. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you enjoy my talking. This is something I'm going to try and get more used to. Even if it's not talking about Minecraft, and it won't be talking about Minecraft every time. It'll be talking about other things at some point once I get more, eventually, eventually I'll start talking about the game more specifically, or what's happened recently in my life, rather than Minecraft. And at some point, it'll become talking with friends while playing games. Like how Jerome or Jack, when he plays games, does. Markiplier played Unrailed recently, like how he was talking with Bob and Wade, But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Remember, if you enjoy my content, feel free to like and subscribe. It'll help us get to that point where I can talk with friends I'm playing a game with sooner. Feel free to leave a comment. I've talked about a few things you can leave comments about. And feel free to just say hi and enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!